Hey, everybody. So, most people are not doing these midterm practices, so this is disappointing. Please spend some time to practice these because the midterm is the one thing we can't reassess. We've got a third one out here. Hopefully, you can do it by Friday. Um, but this is all for your benefit. So this one is a hard one. There's lots of information here, and we have to do something called dimensional analysis, which is a big fancy term, but you've done it before. Like if I said, how many inches are in a football field? Well, okay, so you'd have to kind of break it down. A football field has 100 yards, and then there's 3 feet to a yard, and there's 12 inches per foot. So um, all those labels, all those units can kind of cancel each other out. You would write 12 inches over 1 foot, and then 3 feet over 1 yard, and then the 2 feet cancel out. So you slowly build up. You first figure out how many inches are in 3 feet, and then how many inches are in a yard, and then how many inches will be in a whole football field. So that comes into play with this one. So let's have an example that ties to it. And here is my brother. He's trying to decide between two different jobs, and his salary is based on how many jobs he does plus whatever money he gets because of his college credits. So there's two companies. Milford can guarantee 11 jobs per month, and he's going to pay $75 per credit hour as a little signing bonus. Wales and Son can guarantee 13 jobs a month and will pay $55 per credit hour. He has 26 credit hours, and the average pay for these types of jobs is 118 per job. So when I first saw a question like this, I was pretty overwhelmed. There's lots of unknowns. The first question is, what is X and Y? And there's just a lot of things that we don't know. So I'm going to try to kind of like break it down here. So I don't know how many jobs he's going to do. I mean, I know Milford will give him 11 per month, but I don't know how many months he's going to work there. So I don't know how many jobs he's going to do because I don't know how many months he's going to work. And I don't know how much money he's going to earn because I don't know how long he's going to work there. But what do I know? One of the few things that I'm certain of is that my brother has 26 credit hours of postgraduate work, and Milford is going to give him $75 per credit hour, and Wales is going to give him $55 per credit hour. Those things I know for sure. So that's where I would start personally. I know he has 26 credit hours, so Milford's going to give him 1,950. Wales is going to give him 1,430. And the nice thing about this, I highlighted this because now we never need to reread that again. That's all taken care of right here. I just have to include this in my answer though. What else? So I kind of break it down. I try to break it down a little bit further. I know Milford is going to give him 1950. Wales is going to give him 1430. What else do I know? Milford is going to guarantee 11 jobs per month. So you might be thinking, well, 11 times M, because every time you have that word per, it usually indicates multiply. Well, you're right. I mean, if M is 7, so if you worked for 7 months, that would be 77 jobs because it's 11 jobs per month. You can also think of it as a rate, 11 jobs per month. So 11 jobs, in other words, 11 jobs for every 1 month. And if he works for 7 months, then I need to multiply the bottom by 7 because 7 months, but then also multiply the top by 7 to keep it balanced. So 77 jobs. And then Wales, if you remember, Wales is guaranteeing him 13 jobs per month. Okay, back to the drawing board. So I got 11, I got 13. 75 has no bearing on 11 jobs. Neither does the 55. All 75 and 55 do are about the credit hours, which I already talked about. So what else is there? Oh, the average is $118 per job. Okay, $118 per job. So I can write that. as a rate as well. $118 per job. Well, check this out. This is this dimensional analysis I was talking about. So right here, the jobs cancel out. Just like feet would cancel out in that inches to yards scenario that I talked about earlier. And what do I discover? If I multiply this out, I get 118 times 11. 118 times 11 is 1298. The one unit that didn't cancel out was the dollar sign. The dollar sign did not cancel out, and neither did the month. So what have I just discovered? That if he works at Milford, he's going to make $12.98 per month. And then for Wales and Son, the jobs cancel out. I'm left with money and month. So I've got 118 times 13, and that is 1534. So if he works at Wales, he's going to get 1534 per month. If he works at Milford, he's going to get 1298 per month. Seems like a no-brainer, you might think. Just go for Wales. They pay you more per month. But hold on a second. Milford gives you more money up front. What if you're only working there for a month? Maybe Milford is better than Wales. But now that's the big breakthrough. And that's the last breakthrough. So he's gonna, if he chooses Milford, he's gonna get $12.98 per month. Plus, he's got that 1950 signing bonus. And for Wales, he's gonna get $15.34 a month plus the $14.30. And this tells me my equations. I can write these two equations under one condition only, guys. You have to know what y and x represent. So answer right now. What does y represent and what does x represent in both of these equations? Y would have to be the total money he gets if he works at Milford based on how many months he works there. And this Y would represent all the money he gets if he works at Wales based on the X working at for X months. So the bottom line is Y is the total money, X is the total months. And you see how jobs just kind of, it didn't really vanish. It just got kind of morphed into the money and the month scenario. And so this was the slope. Now I can answer some questions. The first question is, what are the variables? What are you going to let X and Y be? X is the amount of months worked. Y is the amount of money he earns. Set up a system of equations. We already did that. It's these two. But then it says solve by the elimination method. Round your answer to the nearest integer and explain the meaning in the context of the situation. All right, first things first. Set up a system. Boom, did that. Solve by elimination. Okay, I got to solve by elimination. How? Elimination means you add or subtract to cancel out a variable. I'm going to subtract here because if I subtract, the x's won't cancel out, but the y's will. Y minus y is 0. So y minus y is 0. This x minus this x gives me negative 236x. 1950 minus 1430 is 520. I solve for x, so I subtract 520, divide by negative 236, and I get this. What does this mean? Remember what x is? X is the amount of months. So if my brother works for 2.203 months, it really won't matter which he goes to because they'll have the same exact y value. He'll have the same amount of money. But what is the y value? You have to plug this in to any one of these two. So it doesn't matter. I just chose the first one and I discover it's 4809. So there's the solution. The solution is, come on, an ordered pair, x and a y. But so that's the solving. I did that. Now round your answer to the nearest integer. So that would be this. 2.203 rounds to 2. And 4809.49 rounds to 4809. And explain what that means. So if my brother works for 2 months only, X is 2, then he's going to make $4,809 in either company. So it really doesn't matter which company he goes to if he's going to work for exactly 2 months. Realize the slope for Wales is bigger. So in the long run, Wales is better. They're paying him more per month. So if he's going to work more than 2 months, definitely Wales because it has a bigger slope. Less than 2 months, definitely Milford because it has a smaller slope. What's the next question? Your brother knows that he only wants to work at either company for at most 6 months. What a lazy sod. But at least 1 month. Okay, so at most 6 months, at least 1 month. What is the range for each company based on this restriction? Express your answer in interval form. So, month, remember, is the x value, so that's the domain. If he's between 1 and 6 months, so that is the interval for that domain, between 1 and 6. For Milford, if he works there for 1 month, he's only going to make $32.48 because of this equation. Y is how much money he makes based on months. So if the month is just 1 month, he's going to make $32.48. If he works there for 6 months, he's going to make $9,738. For Wales and Son, if he works there for 1 month, he's going to make $2,964. And if he works there for 6 months, he's going to make $10,634. Remember, the range is the set of all y values. So it wants the range for each company based on him only working between 1 and 6 months. And it wants the answer in interval form. So if we were just at a party, we would say, oh yeah, for Milford, he would make between 3,248 and 9,738. That's what we would say if we were at a party. In interval notation, it's this. This is the same thing as saying he would make between 3,248 and 9,738. That's the range in interval notation. Here's the range here's the domain in interval notation. And for Wales and Son, it's the similar thing, but just with two different numbers because there were two different y values.